Far beyond the stars, there was a mighty group of aliens called the Zarthian Empire. They were very strong and had traveled to many different worlds. The Zarthians had big ships and powerful weapons that could beat anyone who tried to fight them. The Zarthians thought they were the best in the whole universe. They looked at other aliens and thought they were weak and not as smart. The Zarthians had a big army with many soldiers, and they always liked to tell everyone what to do. One day, the leader of the Zarthian army, a general named Kroloth, was sitting in his big chair on the biggest ship. He was looking at a map of all the places the Zarthians had taken over. He felt proud of how strong his empire was. Kroloth's job was to find new planets for the Zarthians to control. He would send his ships to these new worlds, and they would make the aliens there do what the Zarthians wanted. If anyone tried to stop them, Kroloth would send his army to fight. As he was looking at his map, one of Kroloth's soldiers came in. The soldier looked worried and was holding a piece of paper. "What is it?" Kroloth asked in a loud voice. "Sir, our scouts have found a new planet with aliens living on it," the soldier said. "They call the planet Earth." Kroloth looked at the soldier for a moment, then smiled. He had never heard of Earth before, but he was sure it would be an easy place to take over. "Tell me about these Earth aliens," Kroloth said. "What are they like?" The soldier looked at his piece of paper. "Well, sir, they call themselves humans. They don't seem very advanced. They still fight each other, and their weapons are pretty basic." This made Kroloth very happy. He loved when he found weak aliens that he could beat easily. "Excellent," he said. "Get the fleet ready. We're going to this Earth place to show these humans who is in charge." The soldier nodded and quickly left the room. Kroloth leaned back in his chair and looked at his map again. He imagined Earth on there, another planet under Zarthian control. "These humans will be no problem at all," he said to himself with a laugh. "They will bow down to the mighty Zarthian Empire like all the others." But what Kroloth didn't know was that humans were not as weak as he thought. They had a power inside them, a fighting spirit that would surprise the alien general. Kroloth was about to find out that humans don't give up easily, and that they would do anything to protect their home. As his big ships flew closer to the little blue planet called Earth, the stage was set for a big fight. The mighty Zarthian Empire was coming, but the humans were ready to stand up and show how tough they could be when everything they loved was in danger. Kroloth's big ships flew through space towards the planet called Earth. As they got closer, the alien general told his soldiers to watch the humans carefully. The Zarthian ships had special machines that could see very far. They used these to look at the cities and armies of Earth. Kroloth and his soldiers saw many strange things. They saw humans driving in funny-looking cars and living in odd houses. They saw some humans who were very rich and some who were very poor. They even saw humans fighting each other in wars. All of this made Kroloth laugh. "Look at these silly humans," he said to his soldiers. "They are so busy fighting each other that they won't even see us coming. This will be the easiest planet we've ever taken over." But then something caught Kroloth's eye. He saw some humans who looked different from the rest. They were wearing green and brown clothes and carrying big guns. They moved differently too, like they were always ready for a fight. "Who are those humans?" Kroloth asked. One of his smart soldiers looked at the screen and said, "Sir, I think those are called soldiers. Humans have them to protect their countries." Kroloth looked closer at the human soldiers. He saw them training, running, and shooting their guns. For a moment, he felt a little bit worried. These soldiers looked tougher than the other humans. But then Kroloth remembered how strong his own army was. "It doesn't matter," he said. "Our weapons are much better than their little guns. They won't be able to stop us." The Zarthian ships kept getting closer to Earth. They were so big that humans could now see them in the sky. Many people were scared and ran to hide. They had never seen spaceships before and didn't know what was happening. In a big Earth city called Seoul, a group of human soldiers was getting ready. Their leader was a tough man named Dong-hyun. When he heard about the alien ships, he knew right away that it was going to be a big fight. Dong Hyun called his best soldiers together. There was Jae Sung, who was very brave, and Min Seo, who was a great shot with a gun. Yeon Ji was there too. She was smart and good at making plans. And then there was Sung Min, who was the strongest of them all. "Listen up," Dong Hyun said to his team. "We have a big problem. Aliens are coming to attack Earth. We don't know why they're here, but we know we have to stop them. It's our job to protect the people." The soldiers all nodded. They knew it would be dangerous, but they were ready to do their duty. As the Zarthian ships landed on Earth and Kroloth's army got ready to attack, Dong Hyun and his soldiers prepared for the fight of their lives. The battle for Earth was about to begin, and these brave humans were Earth's best hope. Little did Kroloth know, he was about to face an enemy unlike any he had met before. The human spirit was strong, and these soldiers would show him just how tough humans could be when their home was in danger. Kroloth's ships landed on Earth with a big noise. The doors opened, and thousands of Zarthian soldiers marched out. They had shiny armor and big guns that could shoot very far. The human armies tried to stop them, but the Zarthian weapons were too strong. The alien soldiers easily took over many cities and towns. People ran away in fear as the Zarthians marched through the streets. In Seoul, Dong Hyun and his special team of soldiers were getting ready to fight. They knew they couldn't beat the Zarthians in a normal battle. The aliens were too strong for that. "We have to be smart," Dong Hyun said. "We can't fight them like a regular army. We need to use tricks and surprises." Jae Sung had an idea. "What if we attack them in small groups?" he said. "We can hide and then jump out when they don't expect it." Dong Hyun liked this plan. "Yes, we'll fight like guerrillas," he said. "We'll hit them quickly and then run away before they can catch us." The team agreed and started to get ready. They found some of the Zarthian weapons that had been left behind and learned how to use them. Meanwhile, Kroloth was getting angry. He had thought taking over Earth would be easy, but his soldiers kept getting attacked by small groups of humans who would appear out of nowhere. "Find those humans and stop them," Kroloth yelled at his soldiers. "I want them caught now." But Dong Hyun and his team were very hard to find. They would attack the Zarthians and then disappear into the city. They used the streets and buildings they knew so well to hide from the aliens. This kind of fighting went on for many days. The Zarthians had taken over much of Earth, but they couldn't stop Dong Hyun and his team. The human soldiers were causing big problems for Kroloth's army. One day, Yeon Ji found out something important. She heard the Zarthians talking about a big supply of weapons that was coming to help them. "If we can take those weapons," she said to Dong Hyun, "we could really hurt the aliens." Dong Hyun agreed. He made a plan to attack the Zarthian supply ship when it landed. It was a dangerous mission, but the team was ready. On the day the supply ship came, Dong Hyun and his soldiers were hiding near the landing spot. As soon as the ship opened, they attacked with all their might. The Zarthians were surprised and fought back hard, but the human soldiers were too quick. They ran into the ship and started to take the weapons. Kroloth heard about the attack and was very mad. He sent more soldiers to stop the humans, but it was too late. Dong Hyun and his team got away with many powerful Zarthian weapons. Now the real fight could begin. The human soldiers had the tools they needed to take on the alien army. Earth wasn't going to give up easily, and Kroloth was about to learn that the hard way. The battle for Earth was far from over, and the humans were just getting started. With Dong Hyun and his brave team leading the way, they were ready to show the Zarthians what real fighting looked like. With the Zarthian weapons they had taken, Dong Hyun and his team were ready to fight harder than ever. They made a plan to hit the aliens in many places at once. Jae Sung and Min Seo would attack a Zarthian base in the north of the city. Yeon Ji and Sung Min would go after the aliens in the south. Dong Hyun would lead a big attack on the main Zarthian camp where Kroloth was. The attack started early in the morning. Jae Sung and Min Seo sneaked into the north base and started shooting at the surprised Zarthians. They used the alien weapons to blow up the base's walls and towers. In the south, Yeon-ji and Sung Min set traps for the Zarthians. When a group of alien soldiers walked by, the traps exploded, hurting many of them. The two humans then attacked with their guns, making the Zarthians run away. But the biggest fight was at Krolof's camp. Dong-hyun and many other human soldiers attacked from all sides. They had big Zarthian guns that could shoot through the alien armor. Kroloth was very surprised and angry. He couldn't believe the humans were causing so much trouble. He ordered all his soldiers to fight back as hard as they could. The battle went on for hours. There were explosions and gunshots everywhere. Many soldiers, both human and Zarthian, were hurt or killed. Dong-hyun fought bravely, leading his soldiers forward. They slowly pushed the Zarthians back into their camp. But Kroloth wasn't giving up easily. The alien general got into a big walking war machine. It had huge guns and thick armor. Kroloth started shooting at the humans, making them run for cover. Dong-hyun knew he had to stop Kroloth. He took a big Zarthian rocket launcher and aimed at the general's war machine. The rocket flew through the air and hit the machine hard, making it explode into pieces. Kroloth jumped out just in time, but he was hurt. He looked around and saw that most of his soldiers were either dead or running away. The humans had won the battle. But Kroloth wasn't done yet. He called for more soldiers and ships to come from space. He was going to crush the humans once and for all. Dong-hyun and his team knew the war was far from over. They had won an important fight, but the Zarthians were still very strong. The humans needed to keep fighting hard if they wanted to save Earth. As more Zarthian ships came down from the sky, Dong-hyun gathered his soldiers. They were tired and many were hurt, but they still had the spirit to fight. "This is our home," Dong-hyun said to them. "We won't let the aliens take it from us. We'll fight to the end, no matter what." The soldiers cheered, ready to follow their brave leader into battle again. They knew it would be hard and dangerous, but they also knew they were fighting for something important. The fate of Earth would be decided in the battles to come. Dong-hyun and his soldiers were ready to face whatever Kroloth would throw at them. They would fight like the fierce warriors they were, until Earth was safe once more. Word count: 780. As more Zarthian ships landed on Earth, things looked bad for the humans. There were just too many aliens, and they had very strong weapons. Many people thought the war was already lost. But Dong-hyun and his team didn't give up. They kept fighting in small groups, attacking the Zarthians whenever they could. They used the weapons they had taken to blow up alien tanks and shoot down their flying machines. Other humans saw how brave Dong-hyun and his soldiers were. They started to fight back too, in their own cities and towns. They would hide and wait for the Zarthians, then attack quickly before running away. This made it very hard for the aliens to take full control. Every time they thought they had won a place, the humans would come back and start fighting again. Kroloth was getting more and more angry. He didn't understand why the humans kept fighting when they were clearly losing. He decided to make a big show of his power to scare the humans into giving up. The alien general gathered a huge army and marched them through the streets of Seoul. He wanted everyone to see how strong the Zarthians were. But Dong-hyun saw this as a chance. He knew that Kroloth would be out in the open, away from his big ships and bases. If the humans could attack him there, they might be able to win a big victory. Dong-hyun called all his soldiers together. He told them about his plan to ambush Kroloth's army in the city. It would be very dangerous, but it was their best chance. The soldiers agreed. They got ready, hiding in buildings and alleys along the route Kroloth would take. They had bombs, guns, and other weapons ready. When Kroloth's army marched into the trap, the humans attacked. Bombs exploded, destroying Zarthian tanks and hurting many soldiers. Human fighters ran out, shooting at the surprised aliens. Kroloth tried to fight back, but his army was in chaos. The humans were coming from all sides, using the city to their advantage. They knew the streets and buildings much better than the aliens did. In the middle of the battle, Dong-hyun saw Kroloff. The alien general was shouting orders, trying to get his soldiers back in control. Dong-hyun knew this was his chance. He ran towards Kroloff, shooting his gun. The alien general saw him coming and fired back. They fought in the middle of the city, while the battle raged around them. Finally, Dong-hyun found his moment. He jumped at Kroloff, knocking him down. They struggled on the ground, but Dong-hyun was quicker. He grabbed his knife and stabbed Kroloff. The alien general gasped and then went still. He was dead. When the other Zarthians saw this, they lost hope. Many of them surrendered or ran away. The battle was over. The humans had won a great victory. Dong-hyun stood up, tired and hurt but proud. His soldiers cheered for him and for all the brave humans who had fought. But the war wasn't over yet. There were still many Zarthians on Earth, and they would want revenge for their leader's death. The humans would have to keep fighting. But now they had hope. They had shown that they could beat the aliens, even against terrible odds. With leaders like Dong-hyun and the bravery of all humans, they would keep fighting until Earth was free again. After the big battle in Seoul, the humans felt braver. They had shown that they could beat the Zarthians, even when the odds were against them. More people joined the fight, and the human army grew. But Dong-hyun knew they still had a lot of work to do. The Zarthians were hurt by the loss of their general, but they still had many soldiers and weapons on Earth. The humans needed to keep fighting smart if they wanted to win. Dong-hyun and his team started to make a new plan. They thought about what they had learned from fighting the Zarthians. They knew the aliens were strong, but they had weaknesses too. They always want to be in control, Yunji said. When something surprising happens, they get confused. And they don't know the land like we do. Some men added, we can use that against them. Dong-hyun nodded. He had an idea forming in his head. What if we could get all the Zarthians in one place? He said, somewhere we choose, where we have the advantage. The team liked this idea. They started to plan how they could do it. They needed to find a way to make the Zarthians come to them. Jae-sung had an idea. We could trick them, he said. Make them think we're weaker than we are, so they get overconfident. Dong-hyun smiled. Yes, that could work. We'll let them think they're winning. Then spring the trap when they least expect it. They spent days planning every detail. They chose a place outside the city, where there were lots of hills and forests. They knew this land well, but the Zarthians didn't. They also made fake messages for the aliens to find. These messages said that the humans were running out of weapons and losing hope. They wanted the Zarthians to think that one more big attack would end the war. When everything was ready, Dong-hyun sent a challenge to the new Zarthian leader. He said that the humans were gathering for a last fight, and dared the aliens to come and finish them off. The Zarthians found the fake messages and thought they were real. They believed the humans were almost beaten. The new leader ordered all their soldiers to go to the place Dong-hyun had chosen for the big battle. As the Zarthians marched towards the trap, Dong-hyun and his soldiers got ready. They hid in the hills and forests, waiting for the right moment to strike. It was a tense time. The fate of Earth would be decided in this battle. If the humans won, they would show the whole galaxy that they were a force to be reckoned with. If they lost, the Zarthians would crush them and take over their world. Dong-hyun looked at his soldiers. They were tired and many were hurt, but he saw determination in their eyes. They were ready to fight to the end for their homes and families. Remember, he said to them, we are fighting for all humans today. We are fighting for Earth. No matter what happens, I'm proud to stand with you. The soldiers nodded, gripping their weapons. They were ready. The Zarthians were getting closer, walking into the trap. The final battle was about to begin. As the Zarthians marched into the trap, everything was quiet. They looked around, expecting to see the human army ready to fight. But there was no one there. The new Zarthian leader laughed. "Look at this," he said to his soldiers. "The humans are so scared of us that they ran away. This planet is ours now." But just as he said this, there was a loud noise. Explosions went off all around the Zarthians, throwing them into confusion. Smoke filled the air, making it hard to see. From the hills and forests, the human soldiers attacked. They fired their guns and threw bombs at the aliens. Dong Hyun and his team led the charge, shooting at the Zarthians with their own weapons. The aliens tried to fight back, but they were caught by surprise. They couldn't see well in the smoke, and they didn't know where the attacks were coming from. Some men used his strength to throw big rocks at the Zarthian tanks, smashing them. Jae Sung and Min Seo fired rocket launchers, blowing up groups of alien soldiers. In the middle of the battle, Dong Hyun found himself face to face with the new Zarthian leader. The alien was big and strong, and he had a powerful gun. They fought hard, shooting and punching each other. The Zarthian leader was tough, but Dong Hyun wouldn't give up. He kept fighting, even when he was hurt. Around them, the battle was turning into a big mess. The humans were fighting bravely, but the Zarthians still had more soldiers. It looked like the humans might lose. But then, something strange happened. As Dong Hyun and the other humans fought harder, they started to change. They began to growl and roar like animals. Their eyes turned wild, and they seemed to get stronger and faster. The Zarthians were shocked. They had never seen humans act like this before. Some of them got scared and started to run away. Dong Hyun felt the change too. It was like a wild beast was waking up inside him. He roared and jumped at the Zarthian leader, fighting with a new strength. The other human soldiers were also changing. They fought like fierce animals, biting and clawing at the aliens. The Zarthians were terrified. They didn't know what to do. Eunji, in the middle of the battle, realized what was happening. "It's our spirit," she yelled to the others. "Our fighting spirit. It's making us stronger." Hearing this, the human soldiers let out a mighty war cry. They embraced the beast inside them and fought harder than ever. The Zarthians couldn't stand against them. Finally, Dong Hyun defeated the Zarthian leader. As the alien fell, the rest of his army lost heart. They turned and ran, trying to get back to their ships. The humans chased them, still roaring like beasts. They wouldn't let the aliens escape. This was their planet, and they would fight for it to the end. As the last Zarthians fled, the humans gathered together. They were tired and hurt, but they were victorious. They had shown the power of the human spirit. Dong Hyun looked at his brave soldiers. "We did it," he said, his voice hoarse from roaring. "We showed them what humans are made of." The soldiers cheered, their beast-like cries echoing over the battlefield. They had won a great victory, but they knew the war wasn't over yet. There were still Zarthians out there, and they would come back. But for now, the humans celebrated. They had found a new strength in themselves, a wild and fierce power that could overcome anything. With this spirit, they would keep fighting until Earth was completely free. After the big battle where the humans fought like beasts, things started to change. The Zarthians were scared. They had never seen anything like the fierce human spirit before. Stories of Dong Hyun and his team spread across the planet. People heard about how they had become like wild animals in the fight, and how this had helped them beat the aliens. Many humans were inspired by these stories. They started to believe that they could win the war. More and more people joined the fight in every city and town. The Zarthians tried to stop them, but it was getting harder. Every time they thought they had crushed the humans in one place, the fight would start again somewhere else. And now, the humans were using the Zarthians' own fear against them. They would roar and growl as they attacked, making the aliens think they were facing wild beasts, not just soldiers. Some of the Zarthian soldiers even started to run away when they heard the human war cries. They didn't want to face these fierce Earth warriors. Back in Seoul, Dong Hyun and his team were planning their next move. They knew they had to keep the pressure on the Zarthians. "We need to hit them everywhere," Dong Hyun said. "Keep them confused and scared. Never let them rest." The others agreed. They split up into small groups and traveled to different parts of the planet. Wherever they went, they helped the local humans fight against the aliens. Jae Sung and Min Seo went to Europe. They showed the people there how to fight like beasts, and soon the Zarthians were being beaten back across the continent. Some men went to Africa. His strength and courage inspired the people, and they rose up against the aliens in a mighty revolt. Yeonji traveled to the Americas. She helped the humans their planned smart attacks, using the land and the cities to their advantage. And Dong Hyun went to Asia. He led the fight in the biggest cities, driving the Zarthians out street by street. All over the world, humans were fighting back. They were using their new beast-like strength, and it was working. The Zarthians were losing ground every day. In their main ship, the Zarthian leaders were arguing. Some wanted to run away, to leave Earth and find an easier planet to conquer. Others wanted to stay and fight, to crush the humans once and for all. But they all agreed on one thing. They were afraid. They had never faced an enemy like the humans before, an enemy that could become like wild animals when they fought. On Earth, the humans could feel that they were winning. They knew the Zarthians were getting weaker, and they pushed harder. In one last big battle, Dong Hyun and all the human soldiers came together. They attacked the Zarthians' main base, roaring and growling as they fought. The aliens tried to stand against them, but they couldn't. The human spirit was too strong. In the end, the Zarthians ran to their ships and fled into space. The humans had won. Earth was free. Dong Hyun and his soldiers stood together, tired but proud. They had shown the power of the human beast, the fierce spirit that could overcome anything. As the people of Earth celebrated their freedom, they knew that they would never forget this lesson. They had learned that when times were hard, they could find a wild strength inside themselves. And with that strength, they could face any challenge, on Earth or among the stars. Earth was free, but the cost had been high. Many cities were in ruins, and countless people had died in the war. The humans had a lot of work to do to rebuild their world, but they were not afraid of the task ahead. They had faced the worst and had come out stronger. The beast inside them, the fierce human spirit, would help them overcome any challenge. Dong Hyun and his team were hailed as heroes. People everywhere knew their names and their story. They had shown the way, had taught humans how to find their inner strength. But the soldiers knew that the victory belonged to everyone. Every human who had fought, in big ways or small, had been a part of this triumph. The world began to rebuild. Cities were repaired, homes were rebuilt. Slowly, life started to return to normal. But it was a new normal, one where humans knew their own strength. And they knew that they had to be ready. The Zarthians had been beaten, but they were not the only danger in the universe. There could be other threats out there, other enemies who might try to conquer Earth. So the humans prepared. They studied the alien technology they had captured, learning its secrets. They built new weapons and defenses, determined to be ready for whatever might come. And they continued to train their soldiers in the way of the beast. The fierce fighting style that Dong Hyun and his team had used became known as the human way. It was taught to armies and warriors around the world. Dong Hyun himself continued to serve, helping to make Earth strong. He knew that his job was not over. As long as there were threats to his planet, he would be ready to fight. But he also knew that he was not alone. He had his team, his brothers and sisters in arms. And beyond that, he had the whole of humanity, a species that had shown its true strength. Years passed, and Earth changed. It became a world of warriors, a planet that was ready for any fight. And out among the stars, a legend grew. The story of the humans who had fought like beasts spread far and wide. Alien races heard of this fierce species, of their unbreakable spirit. Some were afraid, and vowed to stay far away from Earth. Others were intrigued and hoped to learn from these remarkable creatures. And a few, a very few, looked at the humans and saw a challenge. They looked forward to the day when they might test themselves against these beast warriors, these soldiers of Earth. For the humans, life went on. They celebrated their victories and mourned their losses. They rebuilt, and they prepared. And always they remembered. They remembered the war and those who had fallen. They remembered the Zarthians and the terrible price of underestimating an enemy. But most of all, they remembered what they had learned about themselves. They had seen the beast within, and they knew its power. They were human, and they were strong. Dong Hyun looked up at the stars one night, thinking of all that had happened. The war had changed everything, but maybe in the end, it had changed things for the better. Earth was a warrior world now, but it was also a world that knew peace. Humans had found their strength, and with it, a new unity. As he looked out into the vast cosmos, Dong Hyun smiled. Whatever was out there, whatever challenges lay ahead, he knew that humanity would be ready. They would face the future as they had faced the Zarthians, with courage, with determination, and with the fierce spirit of the human beast.